I don't like being the bearer of bad news, but in the event nobody has told you, you will die if you don't have enough water. Plain and simple. And also, on top of that, nobody else cares if you have enough water or not, because they only care if they have enough water or not. Kind of grim, I know, but sometimes the truth hurts a little bit, and sometimes maybe we need a little bit of wake-up call to get on top of some things that we haven't been planning appropriately for. So if you call yourself a prepper and all you've done is store a bunch of ammo and magazines somewhere, then pretty much at that point, if you don't have any other sort of supplies to include water, you're pretty much just saving it up for the next guy. All right, so let's stop with the doom and gloom and talk about what you can do to actually improve your situation and help you, your loved ones, and all those people that called you paranoid but also said, I'm coming to your house when stuff goes down. So having water on hand is not something as simple as just buying a couple jugs of water from the store and that's going to hold you and your family over for a while. You don't know what situation could potentially happen. Think about the people in Palestine, Ohio. I'm sure they weren't all expecting their water to be contaminated by a train derailment. Those trains have probably gone through town a million times and nobody ever thought anything of it. Then something bad happened and people went, ah, crap, I don't have water. And they're lining up at the trucks handing out water like savages trying to make sure they get their hands on some. And you don't want to be last in that line. So if you can prepare yourself a little bit, you can have some leeway into, yes, maybe needing some of those supplies, but have a buffer before you actually have to tap into them. First thing you're going to need is something to store water in. It is not recommended to use something that is not designed for storing water, such as, let's say, an old laundry detergent container or a syrup container, something that is not designed to hold water. It needs to be opaque. Something like these green jugs here, they're not clear. Clear is not good for long-term water storage. It allows light in there. Light allows things to grow, and we don't want stuff growing in our water that we intend to ingest. There's all kinds of other products out there, things like water bricks and other brands. They sell the little blue or white water storage containers, the various sizes that stack. We'd all love to have some of those giant 1,000-gallon containers that put water in, but the problem with those is they're extremely heavy, they take up a lot of space, and they're not very portable. If you were in a situation where you need to evacuate and you've got to take supplies with you, you can't exactly throw that in the back of your truck and drive off. So I'm a big fan of these military-style water cans. They're 20 liters or 5.3 gallons. They're very portable. They're heavy-duty. You can stack them on top of each other. They're fairly thin. So you can see, just compared to me, the size of these things, they're fairly thin. Again, they're notched in the back, so you can stack them on top of each other. If you've got a little thin crevice, you can put them in. They've got a very easy opening here to fill and or dump water out of, to include smaller nozzles that you can pour stuff out of, that you can pour out of and even attach things to. Got a little vent cap on it. So I find these very handy. They're also readily available at a lot of military surplus locations. You can get them from Lowe's, you can buy them on Amazon. And those, again, are generally what I like to store water in. So simply just pouring water in there and closing the lid, probably not a great idea. There's a lot of products out there for storing water in terms of chemical additives that you can put in it. A lot of them are fairly expensive for what you get. You can, if you are prepping on a budget, you can use regular bleach. Clorox, Purex, as long as it is plain, unscented bleach. Don't be trying to store your water with lilac scented bleach. That's not a good idea. Plain bleach that has a higher sodium hypochlorite content. Basically, you just use 6 to 8 drops of bleach per gallon that you're storing, and that number varies basically depending on the quality of the water you're putting in it. If your tap water is maybe kind of iffy, or you're on a well and you haven't had it tested, you're not sure what's in it, probably err on the side of caution. Use 8 drops per gallon of bleach. Generally, what I will do with these for the 5.3 gallon containers, I will take a teaspoon of bleach to that full water container and close it up and swish it around and put some painter's tape on it and mark the date. It's recommended that you swap the water out every 6 months if you do use bleach to store it. I've done it up to a year. So I've come around to that point in time again where it's time to rotate it out. I've drank the water out of it after it's been stored for a year using bleach, and it is absolutely just fine. Now, a lot of you that maybe have tried that before, you've been in the military and you've drank out of a water buffalo before with that basically tastes like you're drinking straight bleach. It's not a pleasant taste. However, for those of you that are not aware, if you are to, let's say, things are bad, you're tapping into your water supply. I treated this with a teaspoon of bleach. I've had it stored. I pour some into a cup. Let that cup sit 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes before you drink out of it. Let that chlorine evaporate. It'll kind of turn back into a gas and evaporate into the air, and it should lose its chlorine taste, so it should just be plain fine to drink water after that. So there's just a little tidbit of knowledge for you again. If someone's kind of icky and they're like, I don't want to use bleach because I don't like the taste or the smell. I want safe, clean water to drink, so I don't even care if it tastes like bleach or smells like it, I'm gonna drink it. And I've done it before, and I'm still here telling you about it. So again, bleach is not recommended, but it is a lot cheaper than the alternative. This huge jug, 8 drops per gallon, this thing will last you pretty much indefinitely, depending on how much water you're gonna store. Now, chances are as well, you probably don't have an entire warehouse in order to store all the water you're gonna need to survive the entire rest of you and your family's lives. So obviously storage space becomes an issue. So there are other options that you have for water filtration kind of, I would say, on the go. So something like this Katadyn pocket water filter. It's got a ceramic and silver infused filter inside of it. It's good for up to 13,000 gallons. That's a lot of these things in this tiny package here. It's pretty simple to use. You have a tube that goes into your water source. You have a tube that goes into wherever you're going to store your clean water. And all you do is you just pump it and it filters the water through. Over time, again, the filter will wear out. It does come with a little tool to kind of tell you when it's time to replace it. Have another filter on standby. That's 26,000 gallons of water in a small, tiny package that isn't filling up your whole room with these giant containers. Something else even smaller and lightweight, life straws are great. They work amazing. These things are all over the world in other countries where their water sources are a lot more contaminated than ours, and people are using them to drink and still be alive today with all the crap that's in their water. They have little small ones like this. These are great to throw in your pack, your bug out bag, your EDC bag, whatever crazy acronyms you're using for your stuff. Keep something like this on you, keep it in your vehicle. And in the event something happens, you just stick this in a puddle and you can drink out of it, and most likely you're gonna be okay. Again, these things are super lightweight. There's no pumping mechanism, nothing to change. When they're no good anymore, you just toss them and grab another one. I think I got this from Costco in like a 5-pack, so that's a lot of water, and that's, you know, for each member of your family can get one. It's got a little string you can put around your neck and keep it with you if you're out hiking or something. So definitely a great idea. I don't have one, but another good option for a kind of community type situation with your family, or if you got a large group of people. A Berkey system is very nice. It's got some filters in it. You fill the giant canister in the top, it drips down, and then you've got a little spout that you can serve out of. Life Straw also makes another one like that as well. I know I've heard some mixed reviews about that one as far as the quality and it leaking, but I don't have any personal experience with that, so I can't tell you of my own knowledge. So I'm not telling you to run out and go buy 500-gallon storage containers worth of water and stash them all over your house. It is recommended that you have at least 1 gallon of water per person for at least 3 days. My recommendation would be to have a minimum of 1 5-gallon container per person in your household. And again, this is going to be potable drinking water, stuff that you stored with the bleach. You can store non-potable water and use it to do things like washing or flushing toilets in your house. And what I do is I just store only potable water because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to get down to my last 20 gallons of water and, oh crap, it's not potable, and I've got to go through the process of purifying it and being concerned about the quality of the water. So if it's all potable water, you can use potable water to wash dishes and flush a toilet. You don't want to use non-potable water to drink and cook with. So just keep that in mind. Again, bleach is fairly cheap considering how much you would actually need to disinfect and store the amount of water that you may need for you and your family. So anyway, hopefully you found something useful in this video. Worst case scenario, maybe just a swift kick in the pants to get you motivated in the right direction to get your water storage situation right. Don't get caught behind the 8 ball and be wishing you had some and you're dying of thirst because you failed to plan accordingly. So anyway, I'm going to stop being all doom and gloom and taking up time. Hopefully you found something useful, and we'll catch you in the next video.